I went for a walk yesterday, and it's been a little while since I went to this particular nature spot that I went to yesterday, and it really is a lovely spot. It's a place where I always connect to, and I actually spent 6 weeks within this forest location in preparation for going to the Amazon rainforest and being in a silent isolation retreat. I really use that space to prepare for the level of quiet and solitude I was going to be experiencing. Because one thing about nature is it carries a specific frequency, and when we're in that frequency of nature, it realigns our frequency to what it should be. So for me, I always get a lot of insight, a lot of clarity when I'm in nature, because nature really brings us into the present moment. And what I wanted to speak about was emotions. And I know I always harp on about emotions because for me, I feel it's really important. And what I've really learned from my own healing journey over the past 10 years is that you really have to address the emotions that are buried within you eventually. And in the Western culture, we aren't really taught about emotional intelligence, emotional resilience. We're taught to get over it. We're taught to, you know, don't be a baby, grow up. We're taught to, oh, it would just pass. We're taught to think positive. We're taught to focus on the positive. We're not taught to, okay, go and sit with yourself and see what your soul is trying to tell you. And for me, that's really been something that I have totally embodied over the last 10 years. And the reason it's important to do that is because we are energetic and emotional beings. So we are constantly absorbing energy from around us. So every time you listen to the news, you're absorbing that energy. Every time you're around either an individual person or a collective crowd of people, you're absorbing their energy as well. Every time you read a book, you're absorbing that energy. Every time you give your focus to something, you are absorbing that energy. And so we are always absorbing energy from those around us. And a lot of people are sensitive to energy, particularly if I'm super into human design. I'm a projector and I've got a lot of open centers. So I'm super aware of other people's energy, but I often mistake it as my own. And this is the issue. We absorb all this stuff from other people, but we don't realize it's not our stuff. We don't realize it's their stuff. And this also goes for parents. So you would have absorbed your parents' beliefs and energy and ways of control from a very young age. Everybody who's ever taught you, you've been conditioned by them. So when you start to work on your emotions, you realize, hang on, is this mine or is this somebody else's? And that can seem a bit of an alien concept because, again, we're not taught this stuff. So the majority of what you're thinking at the moment might not even be yours. And the reason I say this now is because we are living in this wild time with coronavirus. There's a lot of fear in the collective and we're absorbing it. Like, I can go out sometimes and I'm like, holy shit, the energy is just, ugh, and I need to go home and lay down. So basically what I do is I teach people how to clear this energy, because that's all it is really, it's energy. Our issues live in our tissues, and if you want to get over your anxiety, over your depression, over your burnout, you have to at some point start to listen within what's happening within your body, because once you do that, then you can set yourself free. And basically your emotions, it's just stuck energy in your body. So when you focus on the sensations in the body rather than your mind going, oh, this is happening, oh, the world this, my family this, when you actually drop into yourself and say, okay, so I'm now feeling a tight, restrictive feeling in my chest. It's hot, the energy is raising upwards, I feel a bit breathless, I feel compression around my throat. When you actually do that, it starts to dissolve. That's how you become emotionally stronger. You sit with the energy, you sit with the emotion, and it starts to dissolve. So when you pair this with breath work, which is my main tool, which I use with people, we use the breath to charge our body. So you put yourself into a state of like a heightened state of awareness, like you're not going out of the body, it's very body orientated. So you start to breathe, and then you start to feel like maybe tingling. You might feel that your anxiety gets a little bit more, you're more aware of it, but then you breathe and then you use release techniques, and it helps the body to de-armor. Because what also happens all through our life, the more you're conditioned by people, your body will physically start to create armoring. So it will start to create tension, particularly around the chest and the core and the throat, especially if you feel like you're someone that can't express and you've always swallowed your opinions down, you've always swallowed your desires down. There's going to be a lot of constriction around the throat. And the breath work really helps with that. And the beauty of it is, like, I'm not asking you to relive your trauma. I'm not asking you to dig up old memories. I'm literally guiding you to feel what's happening in your body in the present moment. And it's a really lovely, gentle way to connect with yourself. And it is just my absolute passion to teach this to people, because I wish I'd have known this 10 years ago, because I've literally been searching and searching and searching and searching for a tool that I could use which empowers me. So I'm not going to a therapist and going, oh, hey, I'm feeling this, can you please help me? I'm saying, okay, body, show me what's wrong, show me how to heal. And that is really where this is so wonderful. And after a breathwork session, you're likely to feel more grounded, more connected, and more present. And the beauty of it is, the more present you are in your body and your life, you can't get stuck in your head, because your mind starts to create the anxiety. I'm using anxiety as an example, it can be anything. So your mind starts to create the stories of being anxious, and then the body kind of amplifies it. But if you return to your breath, like simply just bring your focus back to your breath, then the mind can't create those stories. And the more you clean yourself up, the more likely and the more emotionally resilient you are. So you'll be able to walk into a room and go, oh yeah, this energy feels off, it's not my own, I'm gonna leave. Or you'll be able to feel like when you've had enough of an energy, like you might be at a party and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I need to go. So it's really giving you those skills and those insights and how to manage yourself better. And not only does it help you directly, it also helps your whole family lineage. So when you do emotional and trauma healing work, it clears 7 generations forward and 7 generations back, which is simply amazing. But what it also does is it helps you have more authority over your life. Like, I'm not really afraid about anything that's going on in the world at the moment, because I know I'm the only one that has control over my life. I don't look to governments, I don't look outside of myself to make my life better. I know it's all down to me, and I know that when I'm present and when I'm emotionally clear, then I'm in control, then I can create. So I really hope that resonates with some of you. I do get a lot of questions, people saying, well, what is breath work? Like, of course we all breathe, but yeah, this is an amazing tool which I would love to share with as many people. So if it resonates, please drop me a message. And you can also check out my bio. I've got a breath session coming up this Sunday, which is at 7:30 p.m. UK time. And yeah, we're just going to be breathing. We're going to be doing some fascia release. We're going to be doing some movement and dropping into our body. So I've got an itch. yeah, so I hope you can make it. But again, thank you for checking this out, and I will speak to you soon.